Working with Vidya has been fabulous. I mean, she's such a good actor. I've always admired her. It doesn't have to be like a women-oriented all the time.
Yeah.
Not about women problems.
It doesn't need to be serious.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be serious. It could be an entertaining movie.
Sure.
Tough for me to get into was Ke Sera Sera with Prabhu Deva. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And there was such a long shot. And I'm like, Prabhu ji, you had said that you'd take 1 month. No, ma'am, you'll do it, ma'am. He was so confident. He was like, you will do it, ma'am.
What was your equation with Sridevi, ma'am, if I may ask? Because, women actors tend to get pitted against each other.
Yeah, we never worked together in any of the movies. I don't know. There was not much interaction between us because, we were in different... Yeah. So she was off doing her own thing. I was doing my own thing. Once in a while, they'll see some scene and all that and they'll be like, when did you do this movie? Like they saw Ke Sera Sera recently. I said, Mom, we saw your song Ke Sera Sera. You're cool.
Hello everyone, welcome to Showsha. I am Titas Chowdhury in conversation with Madhuri Dixit. Hi ma'am.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
All good, all good. Your smile is literally lighting up our frames and we are very happy about it. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Big congratulations on the success of Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you and Vidya ma'am, I think together you just created magic. And people were really looking forward to, the jugalbandi between the two of you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and also you both are really the driving factors in the film. Tell me, what does this success mean to you? Where you have two women driving the film and the audience, loving it so much. Do you think it breaks stereotypes in any way?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Because, whenever you say that two women are driving it, I think that itself is a big success for women. Even though, I come at an interval point in the movie, but the whole story moves forward from then onwards. And I think right up to the climax, it is just amazing, after that. Working with Vidya has been fabulous. I mean, she's such a good actor. I've always admired her as an actor, and to get to work with her was amazing. I think we just got off on the right foot.
Yeah.
We got along very well. And we used to feed off each other's energies, on the set. And it was absolutely fantastic working with her. And also the whole team.
Yeah.
Whether it's Kartik or Triptii or the other star cast. There's a huge star cast. And we all used to be on the sets together. And we had a great time. So it's always wonderful when you have enjoyed working on a movie and the movie does well.
Yeah.
It's amazing when that happens. And of course, the director, Anis Bazmi, he's made so many successful films. And he's so successful as a director. And for him to make this part 3, I mean, he's made part 2 and he's again made a part 3, which is again amazing. Part 2 was, part 3 is also amazing. And I think it's his talent. It's the way he manages all of us, on the set was amazing. He's a fantastic person.
He is. Of course, a lot has changed. We have seen women headlining films today, which go on to do work really well at the box office. There was Alia Bhatt's Gangubai, of course, the recent thing that I can think of. But ma'am, still, what do you think the success of Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3, again, like I said, with two women, it means for women in cinema? Do you think it will sort of nudge more filmmakers to invest in such films for it to really do well and bring in the numbers?
Well, the thing is that, like you said, it's always about the numbers for producers when they put their money in something. So unless and until they're very sure about, a project, they're not going to put their money's worth in it, And so whenever you have a project with a woman who's the central, it has to be something that is, it has to be a subject that appeals to a wider audience.
Sure.
Not just women.
Yeah.
But it has to get in the other people as well. It should be like a family, going to see this film. And so we still have ways to go, where women are concerned in films. We still have to kind of break the glass ceiling, like they say. And I feel that it doesn't have to be like a women-oriented all the time.
Yeah.
Not about women problems.
It doesn't need to be serious.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be serious. It could be an entertaining movie.
Sure.
Where the women are in the center of it. So I think we need to make more movies like that, not just about the issues of women, or it should be very entertaining as well.
Very true. Very true. How long or quick did it take for you to say yes to Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3?
Well, I had a chance meeting some time ago with Anis Bhai after his Bhool Bhulaiyaa too. And I liked it very much, the way he had treated the subject. And, so I told him, I said, Anis Bhai, it was a very good movie and I really liked it and you did a great job. And then in January this year, I got a call from him saying that there's something I have in mind. And he said, this is what mota mota aise main suna deta hu. And then he came home and he narrated the script to me. And I liked it. I thought it was very quirky. It was something different for me to do in the movie. And I've never done a movie in this genre, like a horror comedy genre. So I thought, maybe this will be fun to do,
Yeah.
And because I had seen Bhool Bhulaiyaa too, I knew that the subject is in good hands. And of course, there's Kartik and Vidya and Triptii and all the other actors who are so talented.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be great to be a part of this, this script.
Yeah. So you read it and it was like, oh, I have to do it.
Yeah. I'm like, I should do it because it'll be very interesting to be part of this work.
Absolutely. I was speaking to Vidya ma'am a couple of weeks back and, she told me that when we were shooting for the song Ami Je Tomar 3.0, there was this suddenly a new step that was thrown at me and I just did not know how to go about it. And it was Madhuri ma'am who very graciously, came forward and she helped me do it in a very simpler way. But of course, the outcome was still magical. So I'm assuming that, there was a great, bond between the two of you on set.
Yeah, absolutely. And she is someone who's so secure in her own skin. And so am I. And so we just hit it off very well. And because of my experience of dancing and so many years in the industry, that sometimes I know what the barriers are. They're not outside, they're not external, they're in your own mind. In your own mind. You put that barrier that, I cannot do this step. And so I said, why don't you do an alternate step? Why don't you do it this way? Why don't you turn just once instead of twice? So as soon as I said that, something in the mind relaxes. I can do one. Why not? And when she did it, she did 2 turns. So she's like, I did it. I did 2 turns. I said, it was just in your mind. And once that mind kind of relaxed and said, okay, I can do one, you just performed,
Yeah.
So sometimes it just helps.
Right. And how would you then rate her as a dancer on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, come on. Don't make me rate her. I think she worked very hard on this and she outdid herself.
Yeah.
I think she did a brilliant job in this song.
You are, of course, the dancing queen. That's what everyone calls you, and for all the right reasons. But tell me, which was that one choreography you personally think that really took you time to pick up and master? Which has been the toughest?
I'll tell you, which was tough for me to get into was Ke Sara Sara with Prabhudeva. Because I loved him as a dancer. And he choreographs as well, and he's a very good choreographer. I had seen some of his songs. And it was a little intimidating for me to dance with him because his style is very different from what I do, But the way he choreographed the song, and once I started rehearsing for it, and then we went on the sets, and he had said, we take short steps, like chota. You won't take very long steps. So I said, that's fine. Then I can do this kind of, work. And once we started shooting, it was like, do this. And there was such a long shot. And I'm like, Prabhuji, you had said that you would take 1 month. No, ma'am, you will do it, ma'am. He was so confident. He was like, you will do it, ma'am. So I said, okay. And it was a very complicated step. And I did that. He says, can you give that a wink in the end also? Like, now you're asking too much from me. But it's great to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you do things that you didn't believe you could.
See these barriers that you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what great choreography that one was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it too. Even today when I watch it, it's like, wow.
Do you think, wow, how did I pull that off? Wow, this woman dancing on screen is so good. Do you think like that?
No, I really do think that I don't know how I did it, because every day was aches and pains and by the time you came home, because they were all movements my body was not really used to.
Right.
And when I did them, but I took the challenge up, and I think that joy that I got out of it, and when I saw the song, it was like, yeah, this is good. I really like myself in this song.
Great. The last few years, let's say the last decade or so, I think we got to see a very different side to you as an actor, wherein, it was, be it your Ded Ishq Kya, where you played a queer character. Majama also, for that matter.
Ded Ishq Kya was still like very hidden kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Majama was like openly.
Yeah.
Even Fame Game was very different.
Very different,
It was a series, and I think I played a very different character.
Yeah. I mean, not to take away from what you did earlier. There was, of course, Mrityudan, Gajgamini, so good. But somewhere, do you think you have become more uninhibited as an actor?
Well, I was always that from the beginning. Like, even if you see Tezab, the scenes with me and Anupam ji, they're amazing, those scenes. And people saw that for the first time on screen.
Yeah.
Where the father is like overprotective because he thinks she is his golden goose, and he's just basically using her, and he just wants money, that's all he wants from her. And that the whole there are a lot of showdown kind of sequences with us, and the way she falls in love with Munna and the kind of chemistry they have. I think it is all very new in Tezab. And even after that, if I did a movie like a Beta or, like a Mrityudan, like you said, or like a Prahar. So I've always tried to do something different every time, Of course, I did run-of-the-mill roles as well.
Yeah.
And like Pratikar and all these movies. But these were the ones which I really worked so hard to get right.
Yeah. Do you think you would have been able to do a Majama in the 90s if it came your way?
Well, nobody thought of making those kind of movies at that time.
That's true as well.
If they would have approached me, I was quite like gung-ho. I would have done it. You know? But nobody was thinking along those lines or making movies on that subject. But even Majama, if you see, they have not sensationalized anything. It's about love and about choosing whom you want to love, and they brought that out so beautifully in that movie. And that's what I liked about it, and that's why I did it.
Yeah.
Because it's basically, it's emotions, it's love, it's acceptance. That's what everybody's looking for, right? And that was so beautifully put across.
Yeah. True. I was reading a recent interview by Javed Akhtar. He said that actors like Madhuri Dixit and Sridevi, they gave us memorable roles for sure, but after a point, the filmmakers did not know what to do with them as actors because of the, kind of society that we belonged to. Do you agree with that in any way?
Well, given the constraints at that time for commercial cinema, what runs, what doesn't run, what is good, what is not good, what family audience likes to watch and all that, I think we still try to play different characters, different roles within the constraints of commercial cinema. And we did break the glass ceiling where that is concerned by trying different kind of characters, roles. And I think that's what makes us unique,
Yeah. What was your equation with Sridevi ma'am, if I may ask? Because, women actors tend to get pitted against each other.
Yeah, we never worked together in any of the movies.
Yeah, that's true.
There was one movie that was being made long back. Even then, we didn't have scenes together.
Yeah.
Like, she was in a different scenario, I was in a different scenario. So our paths never really crossed in that sense. So, of course, we both had respect for each other. I respected her as an actor and what she had achieved. working in so many different languages, which is amazing, and being successful in all of them.
Yeah.
So a lot of tremendous amount of respect. And she also was very respectful, very sweet. Pukar was Boni ji's, production. And so in that sense, she was the producer of the film. And so I think it was just mutual respect, and that's it.
Did she watch? I'm sure she's watched Pukar. Did she tell you anything that you remember?
Well, I don't know. There was not much interaction between us because, we were in different...
Sure.
Yeah. So she was off doing her own thing. I was doing my own thing. So not really met. And Pukar was done after I was married. We completed Pukar. And then it released. So I was back to the US after that. So, there was not so much interaction. But I think there was, because we were together, we were like aas-paas. And she was someone who came before me into the industry.
Right.
And she has been working since she was like a little kid, in the industry. And she's worked so hard to be where she is, and I really respect that. And so there was this mutual admiration and respect for each other.
Yeah. Do your sons watch your films?
Well, they don't watch, we don't sit and watch my films. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's odd. I mean, I find it very odd to do that. But they did watch Bhool Bhulaiyaa. They went to the theater in the US, and they went with all their friends. And my son called me and said, we enjoyed this film. It was so funny. And they really loved me as a ghost and everything. And so I had the approval on this one.
But aren't they curious about your older films? Don't they want to see their mom doing whatever she did back in the day?
Yeah, it happens. But... once in a while they'll see some scene and all that, and they'll be like, when did you do this movie? Like they saw K Sera recently. I said, Mom, we saw your song K Sera. You're cool. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, cool.
What a stamp of approval.
A cool mom. So it happens that way because how do you sit at home and say, oh, come on, let's watch my movie? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think they'll discover this with their friends and, everything else.
Yeah. Today when you see younger actors, focus so much on social media, actors walk around with so many entourage members, if you have seen.
Can't help it.
Can't help it. It wasn't the same, back then.
There was no social media back then.
But entourage I'm talking about. Do you think?
There was no social media. You didn't need so many teams.
Yeah.
Today, because of social media, you need your digital team, then you have your stylist team, then you have your own makeup and hair team, then you have what have you team. You have so many teams that you have, which have become like a necessity now because of social media and how the films are also promoted everywhere. First, we used to do films, and then we used to talk to 4 or 5 magazines which were then, there. And then either they used to have a premiere for the movie or not. Maybe they just release the film. That's about it.
You're happy that, all of these things were not there back in the day. I'm sure there was a huge sense of relief also.
Yeah, we have to work twice,
Yeah,
as
I can imagine.
Harder than we used to then.
Oh, God.
But there's some things that have changed now in filmmaking. When we used to do films then, we had cameras which had a whirring sound. So we used to dub the whole film again.
All over again.
All over again. So we did the same thing, same movie twice. So once when we shot for it, and then once when we dubbed for it. And dubbing was difficult because you have to exactly match your lip sync to what was said. You have to match the emotion. You have to match the lip sync. You have to match everything. So it's like doing the movie twice.
Yeah.
That was difficult.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's much easier. They have digital cameras. There's no sound. You don't have to dub. It's all sync sound. You don't have to dub in the studio. Very few lines if there's some noise or something wrong with it. But apart from that, the vanity vans, we never had those.
Yeah.
Now it's a perk, to have that, because for women especially, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Because men can be like bindas and, but for us to have some private thing where we can sit and So that's also one of the comforts, you could
Yeah.
say, today. Everything is set. You get all your dialogues. Your script is, you get a bound script with
bound
dialogues and
script, yeah.
everything. Your looks, what you're going to wear in what scene, everything is worked out. पहले तो मतलब आज shooting करते थे. Yeah, a year and a half later we used to do the continuity of that scene.
How do you stay in character for so many
exactly.
months?
Then you have to think about, what did we do there? And sometimes the dress used to be gone.
My
because something
God.
happened, and you don't have a continuity. Then they get something that's similar and stuff like that. But today it's much easier.
Much easier, right? We don't have time. We are getting cues to stop this. But one last thing. Like you said, after Pukar release, by then you had moved, to the States. Now, despite being a Hindi film heroine, you have fan clubs all around the world. There are Madhuri Dixit fan clubs active till this date. When you were there, I understand the idea was perhaps to focus on family. Did it ever occur to you to try it out there, maybe in Hollywood? Do you ever push yourself?
Well, there were one or two opportunities that came my way, but I was pregnant with my second child at that time, and I didn't want to work, when I was pregnant. So I had said no. But not really. I mean, it depends. At that time, I was so involved with just, making a family and, living that life, which was also part of my dream, that I didn't really think about, making it somewhere else. But I'm happy doing what I'm doing. We're taking up films everywhere. Our films are watched all over the world. And so what else do you want?
Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much, ma'am, for doing this. I'm so happy to meet you. I had last met you during Kalank in person.
Okay.
Yeah. Good luck to you. I'm looking forward to what you do next.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Madhuri Dixit, and you're watching me on News 18.